Welcome to another edition of Native News, your look at crucial issues for Native Americans and non-Natives alike. We return to Washington, D.C. for the first Native American organized conference on climate change. Despite its great success, leaders told us that they need Washington to help.
Regular viewers of Miccosukee Magazine TV know we've been focusing on a historic conference in Washington, D.C. this past summer about a threat facing everyone: climate change.
They better care. Don't they have a son or a daughter or a grandson or a granddaughter or a mom or a dad? And don't they want to perpetuate their families into the future? You can't think like that. You got to think about what do we do to slow her down, take some advice, and change in order for us to exist.
Ed Johnstone came from his home on the Pacific Northwest and was instrumental in staging this climate change summit. Organized and hosted entirely by Native Americans, the First Stewards Symposium deals with an issue affecting all: damage to our planet and its environment.
Where all of us are in the same canoe, and so that's the way I see it. You know, the scientists, federal government, traditional people, we're all in the same canoe, and so we all need to paddle in the same direction. Yeah. And we can't do it independently of each other. I don't believe that's possible anymore.
For coastal tribal nations, climate change threatens to destroy not only their present-day survival, but also links to their past.
I can remember, even in my lifetime, how we would not plant a seed unless we offered a small prayer. We wouldn't harvest until we left an offering and prayed over that. And we were very connected to the land.
The meeting was done in Washington, D.C., the home of policymakers, and the home of the National Museum of the Native American Indian. That was on purpose. There is great significance in having it in the nation's capital.
I'm hoping that they will be on board. They will see what we've been able to plan for ourselves, and so that makes us stronger, so we can actually say, this is what we want in the future. You know, so policies aren't just passed without considering what we want to be done. It's a huge step. It's visibility, and visibility is 80% of the game.
The admission is that Native Americans can't combat global warming alone.
I certainly think that we should push climate change back to the forefront.
Proud as we are, Native Americans know Washington has to be involved.
However, climate change deals with the weather and land issues that we can't control. No one can control. And it deals with it throughout the world. So having those partners outside of the reservation will be important for tribes to be able to adapt. And I think the outside world, outside of the reservation, can learn a lot from what tribes are doing today to adapt.
Closer to home for Miccosukee tribal members, the Everglades Restoration Project was a huge issue in the past. Many realize politicians often move on to what they perceive as more pressing issues.
The politicians understand what is important to their constituents, and right now climate change and environmental issues is not one of them. It's about jobs, it's about security, and so they're going to touch on those issues.
But those gathering in D.C. for this first Native Summit on climate change are emboldened and vow not to let the issue fade away.
One of the components of life is water, and we're not making wise choices with our water. So I think we're just trying to be another tool that opens the eyes of reality, because ignoring this is the death knell to all of us.